welcome to Podcast This Escape, the podcast where we talk about the escape room we escaped from in the previous episode of this podcast. Beardy, Laura, congratulations!
You escaped your drudgery.
Hooray!
Hooray!
And possibly very rich for our efforts.
One can only hope.
That was the end of the first episode of Goldilocks and the Three Banks.
Do you have any idea of the three bears, which bear bank I called this one? Did I call this one Papa Bank, Mama Bank, or Baby Bank?
I only got Granddaddy Bank in this.
I called Mummy Bank because we spent a lot of time trying to find out Mummy's name.
True.
I did indeed call this one Mama Bank. It does have a lot of mamas going on in there, but also, you know what? This is just such a normal room where you're just a normal person doing your job. It's a little bit too soft, I'd say, for an
Also,
escape
you
room.
never touched the walls. They were made out of marshmallows. It was far too soft a bank.
Damn it,
I can't
knew we
believe you
missed
didn't
something.
check.
We never tried Eat the Wall.
They were made of marshmallows held up with pens. It
I've
was all
done a
pens
Willy
inside
Wonka
marshmallows.
themed mini arc. You never know.
That's where all the ink
Wow.
went.
But no, congratulations! You did really well. It was lovely. It's a hard. There was. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a hard room, but there was a lot to it. There was a lot of puzzles you had to juggle at once.
It starts heavy, I want to say.
Yes, you did. As you were worried when you were a third of the way through, you had still solved about 80% of the puzzles.
Mhm.
Was there any particular moment for each of you that you felt real good about solving that?
Yes. What made you feel smart?
I felt smart for Beardy when he understood grabbing the first letter that got us to gold. Because I was in dire straits at that point.
Yeah, that
Mhm.
for a start was doing so much more heavy lifting as a clue than it looked like it was.
Mm-hmm.
Also, just noticing that I quite like noticing on the safety deposit boxes the little numbers and that they were all less than 26, so they could in
Yes.
fact be letters and kickstarting us that way.
Yes,
That was
26.
These are words.
Exactly.
26 being one of the most important numbers in puzzle solving. As soon as you see a number above 26, you go, great, I can rule out so many options.
Yeah.
It was interesting, though, that when you did the puzzle at the start, you immediately saw at the start and went, oh, we'll just take the first word. We'll just take the first four letters. It'll just be the start. And then later on, it just sort of forgets. I've just been recently editing an episode where I put forward the solution to a puzzle, forget about it, and then spend 30 minutes going, there's no solution
That
to
was
this puzzle.
very painful
Before
for us.
realizing that I'd never realized until the edit, I didn't realize I'd already said it right at the start of the puzzle. It's tough sometimes.
I also really felt smart for Beardy when he figured out Francis and dances. Beardy did really well with that as well.
Very nicely done. I do have in my notes for that, look, this is the most traditional Anglo solution that I can come up with for this. I will definitely accept some variants based on what makes sense to you, but Jill Francis Baker was exactly what I had in mind. It's what Bill got in the playtest.
Also, much harder for an American to go dancers to Francis.
Yeah, we have the option of dancers or dancers, and both of
They're
them will
both
pretty
kind of
much
the
get you
same.
to Francis.
Dancers rhymes with Francis, dancers rhymes. It's the same word.
That didn't feel difficult.
You, Laura, very quickly recognized the mathematical formulas that we need to do at the last bit.
Thank you for paying. You notice the little symbols on the checks themselves?
Yeah.
Yes, that was
without
very
you
much your
noticing
puzzle.
Any of that, I would have been like, what's going on here? I got no idea.
Well, it's Chekhov's rule. You know, if you see a shotgun, it's going to get shot. There's no little details like that go unused.
It did.
It is to me.
It did make hurt my heart a little bit when you got to the check drawers, and I was very sad knowing that you didn't need the check drawer open yet. And so, Beardy, you called it a red herring.
No, it was so important.
Oh, that hurt me bad.
How cruel do you think we are that we design a long puzzle path that leads to nothing?
As opposed to what we did with the words, where we came up with our own solution, which did work and just
you're welcome.
didn't relate
You
to
know
the right
the
answer.
annoying part? That the one on the glass, I think, used to have 9 lines to it, so you never would have gotten to that conclusion. But it was like, thank you for your understanding, so that accidentally repeated the word thank you, so I had to kill
and
that
so we
line.
went, oh, we'll just get rid of that final
It didn't
line.
occur to me that I was suddenly making their lines match at all. Certainly not 5 times.
I will also say, though, I don't think we would have caught that one in the playtest, because that puzzle solution for you was, let's count up all the different lines, then see if 5 of them happened to match out of all of them. The fact that was true was it was so arbitrary. But once you found it did feel really right. It was like, oh, it is 5 numbers. This must be a solution.
Save
Then
this
why
one
would I
for
have checked this in the testing?
save this for somebody who you don't really care for, that you want to make them hurt a little bit.
The character work was also wonderful. Customer service work.
Oh, gosh. The
Beautiful.
customer service voice really... it was too
It brings back too
banky.
many real feelings.
And I don't think it would have taken me a long time, I think, to think about looking at the money for the famous face that is
Yes.
I was
his
very
granddaddy.
happy.
And Laura's just like, let's check this very quickly. And that was
great.
amazing.
I think that speaks to my skills of working with rich idiots.
Yeah.
But it was good because it was also you going through all of your notes, clearly going, it's like this object, done, this object, done, this object. And then you went to the last, when you finally got to cash, you sort of went, cash. Oh, I remember when that was described to us. It was described as having
Especially because you
generals
specifically
and
had made a note
important
saying
people.
there were different denominations. You
Yeah.
had put down some things that
was-
made it feel
It was really good to see
significant.
that click in your head of that's the connection I couldn't find.
I didn't write that down. I just had
Well, you just
remembered
said it.
your description, and General Daddy didn't feel like something you had made up on the spot. That was pre-written.
No,
So if it's
yes.
pre-written, it's a shotgun. Where does
Yeah.
the shotgun shoot
It's
to?
in there somewhere. It's
Mhm.
important that he is a general.
Mhm.
Very true. Excellent. This is how you go communicate things when it's an audio escape room. That's how you hide your clues.
You have to hide them in keywords and descriptions. 'Cause you
What's
can't
gonna
hide them
stick
behind
out?
something.
That was a thing that I think speaks differently to different people of how quickly you can recognize that the sentences on the glass and the sentences on the door do have matching phrases in them. I tried to make some of them sound not crazy, but just a little bit weird.
Monetary transactions, I think, especially, is one that goes, that's specific
They
wording. that's
both
on
say
both.
that, really?
Mm-hmm.
And
Was that the first
provide
one?
no service.
What was the first one we noticed? Was it monetary transactions?
It might have
I think
been
it might
no
have been
service.
No service.
It might have been no service.
I think
Yeah.
it was no service for you.
It was you. You noticed them all. Yeah.
But,
So do we come off as a loving couple or a couple that's on our way to therapy, toxic or love relationship? How would you categorize
No,
this dynamic?
it's
So
great.
very comfortable.
How
Can I talk
disappointing.
about the puzzle? Which puzzle do you think was the hardest to create in this room?
Ooh.
I
Go on.
think it would have been the message ones, trying to match up the number of words and get the right phrases there that had backwards numbers in them across both of them and make something that seemed not just gobbledygook
That
for
was
each of them.
That might have been the actual one that took the longest, but it was not actually the hardest.
Was it
Okay.
the credit card number mnemonic story?
Thankfully, also no.
I love that.
Strangely,
That was
I was
very
very
cute.
concerned that my efforts would not be enough, but you nailed that.
There
was
were,
really
and I would like
happy.
to say for you two, in the scripting of that, there is more confirmation of the numbers, but I thought that we could go
Potentially.
slowly and let you get them all.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
did.
Which was
That was
great.
the right
I
way to
was
do
glad
it.
to have you get them all. But no, what was the hardest one?
Okay, so the hardest puzzle was, interestingly enough, the safety deposit boxes. But do you have any idea what made that hard? Because surely it's just converting letters and numbers to alphabets and then doing
Just
opposite
trying to find
words.
things that had the most clear opposites.
No, not exactly. There are lots of
Oh.
words with clear opposites.
Is it?
Safety deposit boxes can't repeat numbers.
Oh, you're right. They're all unique letters for take on bigger.
Yeah.
And coming up with words like that their opposites had first letters that spelled something,
That was
but the
meaningful. You're
original words
right.
couldn't repeat any letters.
Oh, yeah.
That was a nightmare.
Which direction did you do that? Did you come up with I want
Oh,
it
I
to be
kept
gold?
accidentally swapping between them by mistake. It was awful.
There is a
I can go
skill that
grab my
might help you.
notebook and let you know. Oh yeah.
There is a skill that might help you, which is that in Discord, when you want to make a reaction to something, you can use letters, but you can't repeat them. So
Oh, you're
for
right.
a while there, we were trying to find the longest kind of reaction you can write to somebody without duplicating any letters.
What?
Well, because there are there are emojis for every letter, so you can do them.
Regional indicator A, B, C, and so on, I believe is what they are.
But why can't you
Because if you
Oh,
tried to do the same one twice, you would just be unselecting that reaction.
Yeah.
dear God. Okay.
It's a whole new puzzle for you to do.
Gotcha.
You're just going to start going to everything on Discord now and write "take on big up" at the bottom.
But yeah, I just kept going things that have very clear opposites. Like, okay, east and west. That's all right. Old and new. No, I've used W. And now
Yeah.
I've used E. Oh my God, I can't use E's anymore. This is a nightmare.
Yeah, that's so funny. That is
Yeah. That's really well
surprisingly
done.
complex.
Yeah,
It
really
worked
well
out
done.
great.
It functioned.
Even you did the exact same thing I did when you finally went to the first letters of going, well, I've got GOSD. I mean, I could try it. Is that, doesn't feel like,
Very
okay,
much
it's okay.
appreciated how
And then-
early you went to, ooh, maybe we should look for other.
Yes,
like
'cause you
alternative
needed,
antonyms.
instead of small thinking little, and then gold is meant to, and I was glad it did.
You did
It's
go in
meant to
some
jump out and
directions
go,
I didn't
"Oh, beautiful."
expect, like coming up with an argument for why in is the opposite to on. I didn't see that one coming.
In is the opposite to out.
And you know what? If you had said guild, how could I turn that down?
Guild.
Oh,
Because of common phrases. That's not a
yeah,
common.
common phrases.
The
but
common
that's what-
phrases was about the cash straw.
That's
That had
right.
nothing to do with it.
It feels
the
like it's
opposite.
overarching. Yeah.
Oh.
In and on opposites, and
No,
so
they're not
is
opposites.
out and in. What's the opposite of if you put something on something? What's the opposite? Off? I guess off something.
If you put
On
it,
Take it off.
if you're thinking placing it on, you might think under. If it's about placement
Yeah.
opposites.
On top of.
On
If
top
it's like
and under.
if it's a cabinet on or in the cabinet, like sort of.
These are just options.
You don't
Yeah.
want to
That's
ask
like
me
saying-
this question.
That's like saying if I got to a crossroad, I could go left or forward.
That's technically true.
Doesn't make
potentially,
forward the
but
opposite of left. It's just a different option.
Fair.
But it is also true. I think there is a thing about opposites that, like, I feel like especially when you're a kid, there is like this really big constant argument about what an opposite is, because it kind of is. Some of them feel cultural and arbitrary. You're like, these things are opposite. And I
This
feel like as
is
a kid,
a
you get
very
really into
interesting
the
thing that I would
weeds.
love to go into, the universality of these opposites. Like, there's got to be somewhere where cat and dog are not seen as that opposite each other.
Of course not.
And that
It'd
the
be-
opposite of
I-
dog, if there is one, would be something very different.
I disagree. As someone who is an expert on speaking languages badly, you can almost always rely on opposites to help you get through those moments when you need to increase your vocabulary. You can rely on not big, it's and
Mm.
I've done like this mimicking. Beardy has seen me
Okay.
communicating in Turkey with what I have and opposites and things like that. I mean, those are
You've
universal things
noticed
that
a
we
lot
teach.
of commonality. Okay.
Yeah, you can-
That's really cool to know. I wonder if something like in more pictographic based languages, like if there are certain ones where the character that you would use to represent a dog physically looks like a reverse of another thing. So you might end up seeing
in
those as
Japanese, dog
opposites.
is the opposite of fat, which is a great joke for everybody who speaks
Interesting.
Japanese.
I need some explanation.
They're just very similar symbols. If you put,
Ah,
it's like
okay.
you draw
Yeah.
big, and if you put the line in one place, an extra little tiny dash. If you put it in one place, it means dog, and if you put it somewhere else, it means fat. And so they're very, very similar.
Do
That
you wish
dog
you could
and
make
it
puzzles
does.
like this in Japanese and you have all of this new like-
Language puzzles in Japanese. There's a whole weird subset of Japanese language stuff where you can rewrite words so they're pronounced the same, but the meaning is different because you've used different symbols to get that pronunciation.
Oh.
And there's like a whole world of puns and wordplay in Japanese. Like there's a sentence in a book that I've read that literally it just said, like, if you read it out loud, it's like, a Meijin can be a Meijin, but a Meijin is also a Meijin, and the Meijin of Meijin is, and this is a really important point because it's written differently every time, but it's just the same word constantly. Be like, that's how you would normally write it, but what if I wrote it like this? It's a whole,
What a
but it
beautiful
just
art.
doesn't quite have the same sort of thing in English because
Yeah.
we don't have the
Mhm.
ideograms on top of with separate pronunciation. But there's some fun puzzles there, but I'm sure, but not for me. My Japanese isn't good enough.
Oh, but I love that. I love learning language things, and you know anything that you think is universal and common, and then it turns out isn't, and vice versa. Something that you discover is common across the entire world, and that's wild.
First of the first.
Yeah, that was
That's-
amazing to hear that.
Yeah.
I didn't notice Beardy doing anything strange with saying a date like that at all.
It was completely normal.
It's the 4th of the 4th and the 4th of the 4th.
20th or the 4th.
How have we been together this long and that has never come up? We just don't talk about dates? Surely we've talked about dates at some point.
Yeah, but that's the
Birthdays.
problem. You
maybe
get
it's
stuck.
kind of us because you have someone in your family who's the 4th of the 4th. My birthday is the 10th of the 10th, and it just becomes really easy to say it like that.
But also,
It's
I feel
only
like
us.
when you have someone who's used to American-style dates, the first thing you do is you have to spend a lot of the
Doesn't
first
make as much sense.
like
that
100
way.
conversations being like, why would you put the month first? You got to put the month second. And it's only after you've fully resolved that issue that you can start saying, do you call it April or the 4th?
Bill, do you think we've had that argument?
Of course.
Because we have. We most
Of
definitely
course you
have.
have. Of course you
we
have. You're
have.
an American.
And I won.
Do you have any preferences on Celsius Fahrenheit?
I do. It's why I left the United States. It's like reason number 3. I live in a world that makes sense. cannot defend that.
Excellent.
But look, it was a very good room. I think I played this recently as playtesting and going through it all.
Oh, yeah. How would you feel about the fact that originally I knew that there needed to be a hint for this somewhere in the room, but I didn't know what level of hint would be required. Originally, there was no sticker on the cash drawer at all.
So I was just given 2 big pieces of text, and Danny was like, just see. Look, I think this needs a hint. I'm sure it needs a hint, but just see if you can just solve this. I went, what are you talking about? These are 2 blocks of text. You just solve them. How am I going to solve these?
See, Danny, if the solution was our first solution, we didn't need.
Oh, I could have. You're right. That didn't need any hinting. I should have counted up the line, but they did have different line counts. Then I couldn't have found that.
Okay,
Solution.
Good point.
No hope.
But eventually, and then eventually, Danny was like, "Well, here's what I was thinking of putting in." I went, "Oh my gosh, okay, great. Common phrases, how to, when inside, and it's backwards. Okay, yes, you have to put that in. It must be in the room."
I couldn't get past welcome, period.
Yeah.
You really got caught up on that. Is this like, when boomers text, they use ellipses all the time and it sounds really ominous. And then apparently millennials use full stops a lot and Gen Z people think that that's rude.
Yeah, that was so passive. What do you mean, welcome? Thank you. Did you just slam the door on me?
Yep, again, absolutely not something that I considered, but you fixated on those dots as being important. And that's totally fair. If something seems out of place, you are going to fixate on it because it may well be a puzzle.
I'm shocked it doesn't have an exclamation mark. Welcome!
If I, Danny, were in charge of writing it, it would have been an exclamation. However, the message on the door was inspired by all of these signs I see in places now post-COVID peak where everyone was apparently harassing shopkeepers, so they all just say, hey, we will not tolerate bad behavior anymore, guys, we're done.
There are so many signs around now that have a very matter-of-fact, like, hi, full stop. Don't talk to our staff that way. I know you haven't done it yet, but don't. You're thinking about it, please don't. Now get out. No. If you're going to, we'll have to ask you to leave.
Just don't.
Just do not do it, or you will be...
No, that doesn't exist in Russia. We don't have anything like that. You will talk to people that way, and we will talk like that back at you, so it's fine.
You did not talk back to them like that.
Yeah, you were very polite. You were very nice to your dummies.
You understand what sector I work in now.
But yeah, no, I think you all did very well. I think it's a fun room. Did you like the setting? Were you enjoying being in such a sort of mundane setting to do these puzzles?
I loved it so much. It had the feel of like what's Job Simulator in VR?
Yeah.
It's as long as you call it a quest, it's enjoyable, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Hard
work simulator.
And how did this experience compare to your other escape room remote experiences that you've done together? Or, your things that you have done from afar with each other?
That's a good question. I like the interactive nature of you giving out the puzzles and the voices and stuff like that. But in terms of the actual puzzle solving with the images appearing, it's like Laura said earlier, when we were doing the exit advent calendar every day, I'd take a picture of all the sheets and upload them so we could look at them together and banter about how stupid one of us is until they get the right answer using their stupid method. I'm like, oh, you're 100% right. I retract everything. And then the next day it's like, no, you are stupid. And
I was going to ask, did your teamwork behave in the same manner? This one compared to those ones?
I think so. I think so. I mean, I definitely run into like the damsel problem when my brain starts to hurt. It's like, come save me.
Oh, I definitely understand that feeling. I love being involved in everything. I want to be the one who can solve everything and feels incredibly smart. But you also need someone that you can say, please help me. This is what a team is for.
What do you think? How it compares, Laura?
I mean, it's exactly what we do together. We actually we do this so much. We really know what each other's strong suits are. And I honestly, I like, we do so much competitive with each other and we do love it. Like yesterday, we played Dice Forge together on his stream. And I think I said, I love you, I hate you, I love you, goodbye. And it's fun to be when we know we're on the same team together and we can work together. Like when we play Clock Tower and we are confirmed to be on the same team together, I think it's
so
when
rare and so nice.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it is when we do the best. And I do like it.
Like Laura's really good at the languages and stuff, but terrible at visualization and like patchwork style puzzles, that kind of thing, like the polynomial stuff. I'm much better at that than Laura is. But then we get to the languages and she's like, oh yes, here are the 4 common phrases. I'm like, there's common phrases between these between these signs. Yeah.
Amazing.
Complement each other well, I think.
Oh, definitely. And you definitely did throughout this game. You worked together very well and had the right level of communication, which is always interesting with these. Sometimes pairs of people are not necessarily people who've played a lot of games together, and so they have to take a while to kind of get that feeling of being able to solve together and talk to each other and pitch solutions. But you were clearly already quite comfortable with that, which worked out really well. And it makes the episode good for everybody to listen as well. I'm sure it came out very well. People enjoyed it.
You're welcome, people.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to our escape room. Please press
we
pause.
We don't have a pre-recorded exit message.
I like pretending.
It is a good pre-recorded, but it's a good voice for that type of announcement.
Thank you. It's what I aspire for.
I love all my pre-recorded stuff in Clock Tower. For my edits, like, here's the day 1, here's my day 2. I just like throw everything together. I was like, don't reinvent the wheel. Just
yes. It's
I
nice
really thought you were going to say, I love my pre-recorded girlfriend.
Yeah, I was waiting to see where that was going to. I love you. I hate you. I love you. Goodbye.
You've got the Wayland Smithers computer. You turn it on.
You
Good
really
morning,
know how
Beardy.
to turn
me on.
Yeah, it would be insane
You
to
are
create
quite
an
good.
AI bot based on chat messages and voice recordings of someone that you're in a relationship, wouldn't it be?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, look, thank you so much for coming on the show. We talked about it before at the start of the previous episode, but we have worked together a lot because we have been frequent guests, either together or separate, playing Blood on the Clock Tower with you over on Twitch, and also a lot of videos ending up on YouTube as well. Do you want to give, now that we've got a little bit more breathing space, do you want to give people a rundown maybe also of what Blood on the Clock Tower is, if they still haven't listened to us go and play?
Talked about it a lot,
We've talked
guys.
about it a lot, but at least a little summary, and also what you do with Clock Tower on Twitch.
Yeah, absolutely. So Blood on the Clock Tower is a social deduction game. It's very similar to Werewolf or Mafia, and also in the similar veins of the Resistance Avalon, Secret Hitler, Town of Salem, Among Us, those sort of things. A good team and an evil team, typically the good team being big and not knowing anything, and the evil team being small but knowing extra bits of information like who each other are or what evil tasks they have to complete. And in Clock Tower, you typically have 6 to 15 people sitting all around in a circle and trying to figure out, if you're good, trying to find who the evil team is and get rid of them, and if you're evil, trying to survive and kill off all of the good players. Yeah, I specialize on my YouTube and Twitch channel on the smaller side of games, so between 6 and 9 players. A lot of other channels sit around 12. 12 seems to be the default because it's 12 hands to a clock, 12 hours on a clock. So I feel like that's sort of the default that has come up. So I like to showcase something a little bit different, but especially focusing on the silliness and the fun of the people involved, less so than the super duper puzzle solving mechanics like a few of the other channels I'm very people focused,
Hmm.
and that's
And-
especially true of my teensies, which are 6-player games, which is a super chaotic form of the game. And how we first played, I got you on my channel, some pre-recorded games, to
Yes.
play some with Beardy Does Teensies, and they are often the silliest and the best games, and I define them as best because there is the most laughter between all the players, and
They're
that's what
great
I
fun
think
to
makes
watch.
the great game to play and watch.
Yes. And look, it is a lot of fun. We've been really having a lot of fun being able to play those with you for people to watch. And we've also been playing a lot on our Discord. There's a whole section of our Discord for people who are on the fan Discord and maybe have seen it and not wanted to jump in, where there are hosted games that we'll often be playing, but if not us, a bunch of other people from the Discord will be playing in time slots for European appropriate time slots, American appropriate time slots, Australian
very
appropriate time
welcoming
slots.
if it's your first time.
And yeah, if you listen to this and you think, what a cool game, check out that part of our Discord and you might be able to find some cool games. And if you think, I'd like to watch this before I play, go and check out Beardy Does Clock Tower and watch it. You can even find us there and you can watch us play. So you'll have someone to root for. It'll be us.
Yeah, Laura and I have played with some of the people from your server as well, and they were
You have.
very, very lovely and welcoming group.
Yes, there's very nice groups playing. They're all cool because really, social deduction can be good or bad, and it can be hard, off-putting. I never liked social deduction games before this. They were always quite off-putting for me. And I think what it gives for people who are into escape rooms is it layers on all of these extra bits of information and puzzle solving, and you can really contribute in lots of different ways. You can contribute after you die, you can contribute with social reads, you can contribute with mechanical information about what my power did to this power, and like there's only 4 different ways this could possibly have happened. So let me go through the list and you guys figure it out.
There are whole things that you can find online that are logic puzzles based on the information that different characters could get, and using that information you can deduce who must be lying and therefore who's evil. And they can be really complex and really well done.
It is a lot of fun.
That's how I would have described it differently than Beardy. It's a living logic puzzle that resets after every game. And the way I think of it is the good team is trying to find the information while the evil team is trying to add misinformation, which jams up that puzzle a bit. So you think about all the branches of deduction, trying to figure out what something could be, and you have to keep including this information is untrue, either deliberately or because of mechanics. And the amount of branches trying to decode the information is very crunchy. It's really fun. And that's why when we play, we celebrate the end together, both as good and evil, because it's solving the puzzle. And that's why it's not a versus, but a group effort, no matter which team you're on.
Agreed.
And there's nothing quite like celebrating, like, I can't believe you managed to pull the wool over my eyes and convince me that you were good when you were evil. That was amazing how you managed to do that. And I won't let it happen again. And then it happens again.
The final character reveal at the end of every game is it's my favorite part. Just going through one by one and the storyteller saying, and this is what this person experienced throughout the game. And then on to the next person that tied into that part of the story. I love that.
All right, wonderful. And then, and Laura, if people want to go and check out more of what you do on the Russia side, the non-social deduction and the
that we
social Russian side, could you give a description? What kind of stuff do you talk about,
and where
other than
can people find you?
The concept of an American in Russia? What sort of stuff do you talk about?
So you can find me on Instagram, YouTube, and if you're in any Russian world like Vkontakte, it's always Laura Pickens. I do daily vlogs where I usually look at an observation. For example, I have noticed that people run towards the buses when they come to a bus stop. And I asked myself, why do they run? And I come up with hypotheses. And then I test it. I ask people, why do you run? Why are you running to this bus stop? And they tell me things. Well, if I don't, they'll leave. And I'm like, there's plenty of people. There are people still loading onto the bus. Like, no, you have to run. And I tested it one time, and I was getting off a bus, and I didn't run for the door, but I was walking for the door, and lo and behold, they closed the door on me. And I realized that this goes back to Soviet times and having this a lack of goods. And there's always this fear that everything is fleeting, and it is still in their DNA to this day. the way that they get on the bus and they get off the bus. And these are the observations I see. And I ask the questions like, where does it come from? And what are the mindsets? And how does this affect your life and family dynamics and about psychology? And it's just daily observations about these differences I see and the things that are the same.
That's super cool. I selfishly have watched plenty of content like that about foreigners coming to Australia and making their observations about the weird crap that we do. But I haven't looked into that for other countries so much. I'm going to go binge all of this.
Lovely.
Yeah. I mean, look, it is good content to be on either side of. It's interesting to see something and try and figure it out. And it's also interesting to see someone trying to dissect and figure out the way you live your life and your culture. I'm sure there'd be a lot of Russian people who are also interested in this sort of content to be like, oh, what do we do? What does this look like from the outside? Wonderful. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, playing a game, and doing very well. And thank you, everybody at home, for listening. I hope you enjoyed the episodes. I hope you had a lot of fun.
We did.
We sure did.
And look, if you want to help support the show, you can do that. You can do it, first of all, by just telling people about it. Just go and tell a friend or an enemy or anyone you've ever met. Run for the bus. Run down and get on and scream, listen to Escape That Podcast. And they'll do it if you run.
Absolutely.
But you can also help support the show by donating. We don't run any ads on the show. This is completely crowdfunded. And so the donations there allow us to keep making the show and keep making it free for everybody. It's a show that has a lot of production to it. And if we didn't have all these people supporting us, we just really couldn't keep making it. Anybody at any level can appear as an NPC in one of these rooms. So thank you to a whole bunch of people for this one.
Oh, yes.
Oh, now who's not ready with the notes?
I actually would have.
Interesting.
It's not my fault. Google Drive decided to close itself for an update.
It's Google Drive's fault.
Absolutely. So going through everyone who's involved in this, first of all, Wiven National Bank. That was named after a Patreon donor. Our customers, of course, Esther Helms, Brendan Kerwin, and John Vandervurst. Thank you so very much.
Yes,
Very
thank you,
nice.
you big dummies. There's also a huge amount of bonus content. Every week, there's a new audio-only episode for our $5 donors of either the playtest audio or other fun little games and puzzles when we don't have a playtest. Us doing Encyclopedia Brown mysteries or 2-minute mysteries, a whole bunch of fun stuff. $5 donors also get they also get what's the word I'm looking for?
Early.
That's it,
Bulk.
early. They also get early access to all of our Solve This Murder episodes as soon as they come out.
So yeah, like when a new Solve This Murder episode series comes out, if you're on the normal channel, you have to get the new episodes week by week, and you got to wait weeks to get to the end of the mystery. Patreon donors can just get it all in one day.
But there's so much. There's another weekly show for the $10 donors. There's a monthly video for the $10 donors. There's another weekly show for the $20 donors. There's too much, and it's all fun and it's all ridiculous. So go and check it out. And thank you everybody who's already supporting us there. Thank you one last time to Beardy and Laura for coming on the show. Thank you, Danny, for running it and writing it and making it happen.
Thank you for playtesting, producing, editing, and voice acting
Stop
for
pretending I do anything.
And doing a little piece of the art for it as well
The
to
best
save me some
piece of
time.
the art. All right, that's it. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Do svidania.